Good morning.
What's going on, guys? Another episode of The Daily Vibe.
Yeah, the vibe today. Huh?
And my vibe right now, I'm going to tell you, I'm burnt.
Yeah.
Tired. Seems like I'm always tired around here.
Well,
not every day. But
no. You mentioned it earlier this morning that you were kind of feeling how I felt. I don't know if that was Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Monday where I was kind of like, you know.
Well, just tired. I am a morning person, quite honestly. I have no problems getting up. I don't know, today I'm just tired.
Yeah, just not feeling it today.
Maybe I just need like 5 more cups of coffee and I'll be all right.
Well, you already got 2. Working on number 2 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
So we shall see.
Well, I feel fine. Last couple days, my arms have been really sore, right?
Mm-hmm.
From unloading all that drywall from the flatbed trailer. I'm sure you guys seen that in the video, right? But man.
Yeah, I didn't even put that many clips in there. I just did a couple.
Oh, yeah,
but it took us a while to do that.
Yeah, it's just, so many trips back and forth. And
mm-hmm.
So my arms have been really sore the last couple days. I couldn't even, open the door to get inside Thunderdome. I was like, ow, it hurts.
Yeah, I'm sure we all get there sometimes.
Yeah, well, you're just body sore, right? Muscle sore. And that's why I'm like, man, I must be using muscles that I'm not used to. So this is what it feels like to work hard. Muscles. I'm just kidding.
I knew I used to tell her, Roxanne, all the time, I said, you see how you feel right now? You're all tired, you're hot, you're all sweaty. I said, that was me every day in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right, for 10 years. While you were in your air-conditioned office.
Not
right?
10 years, though, okay? I didn't work in an office for 10 years.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I worked inside, yeah, so I had always had AC. But there was times where it would get really hot. I mean, so it's funny because there's a couple people that I used to work with. They'll write me on Facebook or something, and they'll say, man, I had never seen you work so hard. They're making jokes.
Yeah, I thought you just loafed around inside the office and did nothing.
Yeah. No. I was good at that, though. Loafing. Not doing nothing.
You're right.
I mean, I can keep it real, right? There was some days where I probably didn't do anything all day, but just sit there and play on the internet.
I had those days too, yeah. Especially towards the end.
Yeah, don't tell anybody that.
Well, no, towards the end of before we moved here, we both knew we were quitting our jobs, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And but my supervisor at the time, he was a really cool guy, and I respected that guy a bunch. And so I let him know the way my company worked before, because you're in kind of like a service industry with customers and you're out in the field. If somebody gives their 2-week notice, they usually just
let them go.
Yeah, let you go. They just walk you out right then and there.
They don't even give you the 2 weeks.
Yeah, but it's not held against you or nothing. But that's what they did.
Yeah.
Because they don't want somebody going messing up a fiber line. You know, that turns off a casino because they're mad and they're giving their 2-week notice, kind of a thing.
Yeah, yeah. Leaving
it's more
on
involved
bad
in
terms, in a sense.
Yeah, they don't want to mess up a lot of things, right? For a lot of customers, which I understand.
Yeah, and you guys obviously easily could mess things up before you left if you wanted to.
I could have turned the strip off if I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that.
No, you can get in big trouble for that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right, so I understand why they would do that. They would just walk you out instead of give you the 2 weeks. But like I was saying, because my supervisor at the time, I pulled him to the side and I told him, I said, hey bro, just to let you know, I've been talking about this for a little bit, but it's happening. I'm leaving, and this is between me and you only.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't tell nobody, because you know what's going to happen. I told him, they're going to walk me out, dude. But I'm letting you know this is my 2-week notice, so don't tell nobody.
Yeah.
That way he knew, so he can kind of, in his mind, as the supervisor, kind of gauge, all right, I know what's going to happen in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I let my work know at the time, I guess a month in advance, but then I gave them my definite date 2 weeks before I left, but I let them know several months in advance that I was leaving, so they could figure out what they needed to do to get me replaced and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that last 2 weeks I was there, I told my supervisor too, I said, hey man, unless it's an outage or something, I said, I'm just going to be on easy street, dude.
Yeah,
I said, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not doing anything strenuous.
I said, I'm not going to do nothing, but He's like, no, I get it. He's like, I get it. And I was there for, over 10 years at that company. And so sitting around do nothing all day, I guess that's what I was trying to get at. The last 2 weeks, I didn't really do too much.
I was kind of busy last couple weeks because I was tying up loose ends, I guess, making sure people, because I worked with a lot of vendors, my last job there. So I was letting like vendors know that, I'm not going to be there no more. And, some vendors came actually out to see me to say goodbye and stuff like that. So that was cool.
Nope, I worked I had a bucket truck, and I was one of those maintenance guys, right? You see on the telephone poles going up and fixing stuff. That's what I did, but you'd have other work orders too, and I would just send those back in and have somebody else do it, and I would just monitor nodes and make sure no outages happened.
Yeah.
And if an outage happened, you get paged and you go fix it, and I would do those. But other than that, I'd sit in the truck.
Yeah.
And just sit there and watch Netflix. Only like the last week is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. I think.
Lazy times.
Yeah. I think on my last
Those were lazy times.
Yeah. My last physical day at work before we left, I left early that day.
You did. You came home at like noon.
Yeah.
Because I was already off.
Yeah, he left, I think, like 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks before you.
Before me. I continued working another 2 weeks after. And, yeah, I left early my last day.
You're all right, guys. I'm out.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, fire me?
Yeah, right. I'm out. That's kind of was my thought process. I mean, probably not a right thought process to have, but it's the truth. What are you going to do, fire me? I'm already quitting, so.
I know, right? It was a scary time, though, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it was like, for me, walking out of those doors one last time at my work, I'd been there almost 14 years, pretty much my adult life, actually my whole adult life to this point is I've worked there at that, Levi's place.
Well, that was my longest adult job, too, besides the Army, obviously.
Yeah.
I had small jobs in between, but
yeah.
The civilian side, that was the longest. And I look back at that sometimes, I'm like, man, dude, like, it took me like 2 years to get a job there.
Yeah.
I kept trying, kept fighting and try to get that job.
Yeah, you really wanted to work there. That was your plan in your mind when you got back from Afghanistan.
Yep, getting out of the Army, I was like, I want to go do this.
Yeah, I'm going to go work for them.
And it took me like 2 years to get a job because they weren't hiring.
Yeah, and then was a lengthy, at least back then, a lengthy interview process.
Oh,
I don't think it's like that anymore.
No, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the way it worked, become a technician for them, you get to do your online application, and then you have to be selected out of the hundreds of people that apply.
Yeah.
And then you get selected, then you have to go do an interview with an HR person. And then, if you pass that and you're selected again for your skills and everything, whatever they want, then I had to go do an interview with 5 managers.
Yeah.
And it was 3 managers and 2 supervisors, all in a room, and they do like a star interview, where basically, and I didn't know this, and they don't tell you this, basically they'll ask you, tell me a time when you were dealing with a difficult customer and they were really mad. How did you go about that, right?
Yeah.
And what they're looking for is like a story.
A good
Not
answer.
a good answer, but a story.
Yeah.
Like they want a beginning and an end and a resolution. And how did you resolve it?
Yeah.
Not just customers are mad sometimes, but I just compliment them and they're okay with it.
Yeah.
They don't want those type of answers. They want a big giant paragraph. And if you guys know me, I can just blah la 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 la.
Yeah.
So I hit that interview out of the park. I was in there making them laugh, and I remember it.
Yeah.
The whole time they're laughing. And, got a call like 2 days later saying I got hired. So I quit my job I was working at right then and there. Actually faxed my acceptance letter that they emailed me from my old job to my new job. I was working IT and sent my cover letter.
Yeah.
I accept. Because they did it through a fax back then.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah, no, that is crazy.
But now we don't have to worry about anything about that.
No.
Because now we just worry about this.
That's true.
Which is so much better.
It is so much better. I mean, I do sometimes miss working. I'm not going to lie. There's times where I'm like, man, I wish, I miss going to work and I mean, this is work. Like, we're working, right, every day.
I know what you mean. You're missing I would assume, like, the social aspect of work,
Yeah.
where you worked.
Yeah, social, and then, I did like getting up and I mean, I liked working where I worked. You don't have to go into details, but before you left, you were struggling a little bit with your job.
With the job.
Yeah.
Not how to do it, but the job.
The job. Just stress, extra added stress. And then me, I was fine with mine.
No, I'd come home every day miserable.
Yeah, he was pretty
for
miserable.
2 years. Towards the end, I was miserable.
Yeah. I mean, there was times where my job was miserable, but it never affected my life.
It did mine.
When I left the doors at work, that stuff stayed there.
Well, mine was different. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, and to each their own, but I will never, ever, ever, unless I absolutely have no choice, will do or take a job where there's on-call ever again. Ever again.
Yeah.
Because what misery.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to go down that road.
She knows.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, please don't talk about it.
No, it was misery. Well, yeah, that specific job on call was misery.
Yeah.
I'm sure other jobs that have on call, it's not that bad. Mine was horrible.
Yeah, I worked a lot of overtime, wasn't really on call, and that got really stressful for me, at times, especially when Wyatt was younger.
Yeah.
And I was working all that overtime.
Yeah, poor Roxanne, dude. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, 3 months straight, guys.
That's what I was saying. I came back from Afghanistan, right? She had that first week off. She took off of work because I just got back, obviously, right? So she took time off. But then literally after that week, and this wasn't just right when I got back. This happened throughout the whole time. It was stuff like this was going on. But I remember that first 3 months, right when I got back, okay? She worked 7 days a week for 3 months.
Yeah, no days off. 0
days off. 10-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts sometimes, and it was mandatory.
Yeah.
Like, she can get fired if she doesn't do it. And you're probably thinking, how is that legal? How is that legal? Well, she was union.
Yes, well...
union contracts dictated certain things.
Yeah, Nevada's a right-to-work state, so... And then, yes, you have your union contract, which...
So she'd come home, and it was miserable. She'd have to be at work at 3:30 in the morning. At 3:30 in the morning. And she'd get home...
No, 4.
Or at 4. Yeah, you'd leave at 3:30. Same thing. And you get home at, like... depending on shift, at like 3:30.
Well, if I worked... Because my normal schedule at the time was 12 hours, and then when I worked overtime, it was 10 hours. So I'd be home at 3 on my days off if I was working overtime.
Yeah.
But then on my regular days, I would work from 5 to 5. 5 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah, and if you have to get up at, 3 o'clock in the morning to be at work by 4, right, you're going to bed at 7.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or earlier. You have to.
Yeah.
And so she'd come home, and it'd be mid-afternoon, and I'm all, at that time, I didn't have a job or nothing. I just got out, and I was at home.
Yeah.
And she'd be burnt because she'd be working, 20 days straight, no days off, tired. And she'd fall asleep, and I couldn't blame her, and she'd be burnt out, tired. So didn't get to see her. Like 3 months.
Well, what I was getting at really quick, but so that was when you first got back from Afghanistan, and then I had Wyatt. I went back at work after my maternity leave, and then it was like non-stop overtime again, and it was like for months. And I just had a baby, and I would complain to my supervisor all the time and be like, "Man, I'm gonna wake up one day, my kid's gonna be 18, and I missed his entire life because I'm stuck here 24/7."
Oh yeah, it was back to 7 days, and it's like, and I used to get so mad, right? And not at her or nothing, just so mad because I was like, there's got to be a state law against this crap.
Yeah,
how do you have to work?
They would post overtime. I'd take a picture and like, well, I'm working this weekend. Oh, working this weekend again.
Yeah, I'm like, how can they force you to work, 45 days straight, or you take an occurrence and you can get fired? Yeah. How is that legal? But it was.
Yeah, the
way the contracts were and the union and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it sucked.
So, there's a little background you guys might not know of one of the reasons why we wanted to move and do this kind of stuff. Get away from all that rat race.
Yeah.
Because you're 100% correct, dude. Time goes like that, man. And especially when you guys, when you have a kid I mean, before you know, you blink, they're grown up, they're out of the house, they have kids of their own, and you're like, man, I miss their entire childhood.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you have to work, right? But you guys got to remember, I mean, people spend majority of their lives at work.
Yeah.
Away from family and stuff, because you're at work all day, 8 hours or 10 hours, depending on the shifts. You come home for 2 or 3 hours, have dinner, take a shower or whatever, and then you go to bed.
Yeah.
Then you're sleeping, 7, 8 hours, depending, right, on your schedule. So a good majority of your day, 18, 19 hours of your day or whatever it is, you're gone or you're sleeping. You don't see nobody.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Who wants to live like that?
No.
We have to. I mean, people have to sometimes.
It's out there, right?
But that's miserable.
You got to do what you got to do, right, to survive. But
miserable.
There was I can't think of this picture. There's like a saying, that says like, something along the lines like, don't work you work to maintain your life. You don't make your work your whole life or something like that, because people do that. And I mean, that's fine, right? Like, obviously when I took on that new position, like Levi's was my thing, right? So I threw myself in. I was involved in all kinds of extracurricular stuff, the safety team, the
I know.
Community involvement team, the blah, blah, blah,
Just saying. I look back at that and I think about it. It's like, man, like this past year and a half has been so much better. Like, it's been a lot of change, obviously, like in life.
Yeah.
Right? But in the entire time me and Roxanne have been together, we've never ever spent so much time together in our lives.
We always had one day off a week.
One day off a week.
And that was Saturdays.
And that's if she didn't work overtime.
Yeah.
And that was it. The rest of the weeks, she was always at work or I was always at work.
Yeah.
And then same thing with Wyatt. I would only get to see Wyatt for like an hour and a half a night.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you get home late.
Because I got home at 6:30, 7 o'clock, depending on if I had an outage or something, or I was at a customer house too long. And his bedtime was 8.
Yeah.
So by the time I got home, had some dinner, he was getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
It was miserable.
It was.
Miserable.
But now we're with each other every day.
Yeah, 24/7.
All day.
Stuck with you. I'm just kidding.
For the last year and a half.
But that's all right. So if you guys can get out of the rat race, if you're trying to or you want to, you should definitely try. It's a lot better.
Yeah, make sure you got a good plan.
Yeah, get a plan together and try to get it done.
But
that's up to you guys. And if not, then that's cool too. Whatever floats your guys' boat, man. Whatever you guys are into.
Wherever the vibe takes you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wherever the vibe takes you. Wherever the daily vibe takes you, man.
Yeah.
But guys, we got to get back to work.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little bit better right now. I'm waking up a little bit more. Got to get back to it. Got a lot of drywall.
More drywall, yay.
We're going to be drywall mud monkey masters when we're done with this stuff.
I know.
That's all right, guys.
That's okay.
Hope your vibe is as good as ours, if not better. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.